F-35C radar tone spike. J-20s are inside 50 nautical miles. Both sides are locked. If you've ever wondered what a real stealth-on-stealth knife fight looks like, this is it. Today we break down why China's PL-15 threat forced the F-35s and ASQ-239 Barracuda to go cognitive, creating phantom formations, scrambling target folders, and buying seconds that decide life or death. You'll see how KJ-500Is and Y-8 jammers flood the spectrum, how Hawkeye keeps the leash tight, and how one wrong move could have lit the sky. Stay, because the next minute explains who owned the air, without firing. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great! Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Two stealth jets stare through silence. 50 nautical miles feels like a knife at the throat. Because at this range, the first clean handoff wins. Here's the stack. The J-20 points its nose like a shield. Its planform and edges cut frontal glare to a sliver. That long nose isn't vanity, it's volume for sensors, likely an active electronically scanned array working fast beams, wide searches, and tight fire control cues. Above and behind, a KJ-500 rides high and distant, cueing the push. And floating over the whole scene is the PL-15 threat. Mid-course, it feeds on updates. In the endgame, it hunts on its own. That's the paradox. Stealth hides, but not forever. At 50 miles, even small returns can flicker in and out. Intermittent paints stack, merge, and become tracks. If a track holds long enough to pass from spot to fire control, someone gets a no-warning shot. The J-20's job is to make that window open for them, not you. Nose-on tactics keep its radar cross-section lean. The jet keeps its cheeks cold and its tail out of view. The array up front likely shifts modes on the fly, low power here, a pencil beam there, grazing for just enough truth to hand to the network without lighting itself up. It's patient, not blind. It knows the geometry game and plays it slow. But geometry is only half the cage. The PL-15 compresses time. Two-way data links pull updates from shooters or a controller, letting the missile bend its path mid-course. Its active seeker in the terminal phase doesn't debate. It only needs a decent box to search. That pushes crews to manage more than distance. You shape your aspect to stay thin to the radar. You trim emissions so you don't broadcast a clean range and speed. If you flash the wrong profile, the missile's brain gets an easy job. Meanwhile, the network climbs. The KJ-500 acts like a high perch, stitching faint skin paint with off-board data from J-16s and J-10s. A faint echo from one vector becomes a believable track when three noses nod the same way. Then the Y-8GX sweeps the band. It's volume jamming, spot jamming, and noise that turns neat radar pictures into chalk dust. Your scope still shows shapes. The edges blur. It's chess in a blackout. You don't see pieces. You sense mass. You probe a square, and a queen you can't quite see shifts one tile. Inside 50 miles, closure eats time. Decision space collapses to seconds. One radar locks. Then the other. Data links flare as wingmen trade slice angles and range gates. Crews feel the ROE clamp in their head while survival screams for a break turn. Your thumb sits near switches that end careers if you read the plot wrong. This is why distance is armor. Outside this envelope, time to impact stretches, seeker odds fall, and you can test a few counters before you're inside the basket. Inside, the missile's travel time shortens, the seeker's probability of lock rises, and even a small error can't be unwound. You lean hard on electronic protection and aspect control, because metal can't stop an air-to-air hit. Only the picture can. The threat is locked in. To live through it, the F-35C stopped fighting shape and started fighting signal. It moved from angles to apertures, from turn rates to timing. And when the jammers tried to blind, the counter was not noise. It was doubt. What breaks a radar lock when maneuver and chaff won't? Noise, or a ghost? Barracuda steps in as the F-35C's shield and trickster. Think active defense, not a passive cloak. It carries a threat library, listens in real time, and edits the enemy's picture on the fly. You get a suite that doesn't just jam, it writes new targets into hostile scopes. That's the move when geometry stalls and the clock runs hot. Chinese jamming tries to blind the fight. It fills the band, stacks noise, and roughens every edge on your display. Cognitive EW answers with lies told clean. It sculpts what the other side sees. One side floods. The other shapes. First contact belongs to the crew that controls belief. Here's cognitive EW without the buzzwords. The jet listens first. It sorts emitters by type and behavior. Barracuda then crafts a reply that matches the threat, decoys to draw eyes, false range and speed cues to bend track files, and angular tricks that shift where a return ought to be. The pilot is in the loop, but mission data files do the heavy lift, so the jet can decide in seconds which mask to wear. You're not yelling on the air. You're whispering a better story. Now the tactic that flipped the board. Phantom formations bloom. Offset returns slide a few miles off the nose. The J-20's fire control logic now sees not one hard track, but several soft ones, or a smeared box that won't settle. You don't need to erase the F-35C. You only need to make a clean shot look like a bad bet. The PL-15's brain wants confidence. Starve it. Feed it options that don't agree. Doubt breaks guidance faster than metal ever could. Fusion makes the trick stick. The F-35C blends its own radar pings with ESM bearings and offboard cues. That composite lets the jet hold a nose-on aspect that keeps its radar cross-section thin while feeding Barracuda the millisecond timing it needs to lay deception where the enemy is actually looking. You end up steering the beam as much as the airplane. The jet flies angles. The suite flies illusions. Overhead, the E-2D Hawkeye tightens the leash. It deconflicts lanes so two blue tracks don't cross and spike each other. It calls for Emkin so no one lights a clean beacon by habit. And it sets windows to back out without tripping a launch cascade. This is command and control as air brake. When everyone's pulse is up, timing and silence save more lives than a new missile ever will. Then the human pressure hits. Radar tones climb. ROE gates stay closed. You can feel the squeeze in the cockpit audio. Second stretch as the EW picture cleans up just enough to break hard locks without touching the trigger. Hands hover over switches that would end the conversation in one push. You wait for the lie to land. When it does, the tone drops a note. The target box softens. And you breathe. Locks start to fade. Phantom tracks tug sensors away. Offset returns blur the range gate. The J-20 still hunts, but not with certainty. The needle-length fight inside 50 nautical miles leans toward the crew that can rewrite the plot in the spectrum while staying thin on the nose. Stealth gets you in. Deception keeps you alive. In that brief pocket, the goal isn't to win a duel. It's to survive the minute and own the next one. If stealth was the entry ticket, EW kept the seat. Now the question shifts from airframe to algorithm, from iron to code, and from who turns tighter to who edits faster. The edge came from rewriting the radar story in real time. Not shape. Not thrust. The crew that controlled belief owned the minute. So here's your call. Is electronic warfare now the main weapon in stealth-on-stealth fights, or do next-wave missiles and counter-EW close the gap? Comment your choice below. If you want deeper tactical breakdowns like this, subscribe. One more piece matters. Crisis hotlines and standing orders kept tempers in check when locks spiked. Compressed timelines make mistakes easy. Protocols, ROE, and calm voices stop spirals. The Indo-Pacific will test this again. Own the spectrum, own the next minute. Subscribe and join a community that seeks clarity.